Good afternoon, good evening to you, Chris. How you doing, my friend? You all good?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. Thanks for popping in, seeing us.
Thank you for having me. Really appreciate it.
It's lovely to have you here. And first of all, let's go back, really,
Sure.
because how did this all start for you? How did you get into DJing and producing?
Well, I come from a family of musicians. Mum and dad, both professional musicians their whole life.
Okay.
And when I was growing up, my mum used to take me to school every morning, and she had a CD in the glove box that she used to play every morning, which was Ibiza Classics, which was from the 90s and 2000s. Records like Robert Miles' Children, Robin S. Show Me Love, Eric Prydz' Call on Me, Roger Sanchez Another Chance. All these records that were ingrained in me because she played it every single morning. And obviously when you see like your mum enjoying music like that and dancing in the car seat and having a great time, like it leaves an impression on you. And from that moment forward, I was just obsessed with house music, electronic dance music, trance music, that whole world. And then I started obviously producing music around sort of 12, 13 years old, and I saw some of the massive DJs at the time, so Avicii, Swedish House Mafia, David Guetta, Calvin Harris, these guys that were exploding at that time. And I saw that they produced music, but they also DJ'd. And I was like, I want to do that as well. So started DJing, and then from around 16 years old, I've been DJing every single week since then. I've never had a quote unquote normal job, and so lucky, and feel so lucky to be able to have done that. And was doing that for around sort of 10, 11 years.
Well, what I was going to say was it was quite interesting you talking about your mum and growing up having that CD in the glove box, and some would kind of go, you know what, I'm gonna rebel against the parents. And so like a career in rock or indie or rap or anything that ever kind of take your fancy?
There was some rebelling because my dad's a jazz musician, and my mum's a pianist, so a classical pianist.
So when you look at it like that, then you have
I have rebelled. Obviously, my mum also loves dance music, so that's where obviously she did love it. So, but they weren't. There was a bit of rebellion there, definitely.
Because if people check out your socials, there is a really lovely post that you've put up of the moment you first got your record decks, and you just started to learn. And looking at you then, and looking at that video, you're kind of that is that moment you're going, right, how does this work? How does what button does what does that button do? So it's those early moments that are really captured. To see where you are to today, that must be big transformation. A lot of work's gone into that. What would you tell that young kid that had just picked up a set of decks for the first time?
Well, I mean, if you look at that video on my socials, you can see how shy I was. Like I was very introverted and very lacking so much confidence. And obviously I'd just tell him to just keep at it, because I was so scared and shy at the time of doing any kind of performance or anything like that. And the thought of getting on stage or at a club or a festival, whatever, was so would terrify me at that point. So just keep going and just learn it and enjoy the craft, and just keep at it. Really, that's what I'd say. Just work hard basically and make it happen, because you take so much from it in terms of confidence and learning about everything, really.
Because let's have a look because as you said, from where you started to where you are now, there is also a list of, you're on tour soon, aren't you?
We have got one tour over the summer,
and I was just
the rest of this year.
I was just looking at it, just going, wow, you are getting about a little bit, aren't you? First of all, you've already kind of kicked off the tour, haven't you? So that started out, it only started out in Ibiza, for Ibiza Rocks.
That was the start, opening party.
Not a bad start to the tour, is it?
Right. It's all right, it's not too bad.
And then you're all over the place, from Dublin, then Portugal, Crete, back in Ibiza. You're kind of going kind of all around and in between, backwards and forwards. Do you enjoy that part of the touring? Because it must be. It's a lot of travelling.
It is a lot of travel, but I mean, I absolutely love it. I love the music and the people and the whole experience. And so the travel is just part of it. Because I love it, it's part of it, and that's just what you have to do. And it kind of is so easy because it's kind of just it's not work really. I just love it. You have to work. It is work, but it's not work in the sense of like, I just absolutely love it.
It's not a chore.
It's not a chore. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
So it's sometimes it's tough. And we've done some crazy tour schedules. Like one time when we did the Middle East and then Benidorm in one day. That was a tough one. But it was great fun though. Obviously great fun, and I loved it. So it was good.
Because obviously, let's be honest, a fair few of our listeners probably won't be able to nip over to Crete just for a quick gig to see. So the big one. This is a lot later in the year. This is November time.
Yeah, 28th of November.
Ministry of Sound in London.
Yeah.
Ministry of Sound. And you're headlining that show, aren't you?
Yeah, it's my show. Yeah.
That must be amazing, because I, like you, grew up with dance music, grew up with Ministry of Sound, the annuals, all of those, and just having such a love of that music and that culture that Ministry of Sound that brought during that kind of late 90s, early noughties.
Yeah.
So to adorn that stage must be quite special for you.
It is special and really is quite a personal one for me, because obviously when I was growing up, so this was sort of like mid-2000s, etc., when I sort of realised about what all these clubs were, and I was playing the Ministry of Sound CDs just like you were.
Yeah.
Ministry of Sound, the club, was like this mythical place that was like, this sort of incredible, it almost like wasn't real.
I can't wait till I'm 18.
Yeah, literally, it was, exactly. And obviously, opening in 1991, it's got so much history there, not to mention obviously the worldwide brand that it is now. Yeah. So when that obviously came through as an opportunity to do like a show there, obviously I was like, really? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, right, let's do it. Like, that. So that's going to be a special one, I think, just because obviously grew up with that music. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to that.
And as well as touring, because we are talking mainly about your DJing side, but you are a producer as well. We've heard that in the 10-minute mix, a lot of your own tracks in there. How does that start for you? What is the process of that? Do you start off with a four to the floor beat and just work up, or have you got other things in mind? What is the process?
Well, I'd say in terms of specifics, I'll get there, but the best time to make music is I'm inspired by people and shows. Like after a show is the best time, and I'm always inspired by what's popular right now, or obviously inspired by the music that I grew up with, which was the 90s and 2000s dance music. So when that inspiration comes, that's what I start with. It's almost like, I know a lot of DJs and producers and artists can relate, where they try and emulate some of the music that they're hearing in their favorite artists, and then you take that and you kind of put your spin on it. And then specifically, I do kind of, maybe that will be starting with, well, that melody sounds like this, let me try and recreate that. And then we'll build my own drums around it. Or maybe there's like a drum pattern or groove or sound that they put in a record. It's like, I'm going to take that, and how can I put that in my sound? So normally I start with a starting point, a sound or a melody or something I hear from someone else, and then that's how inspiration starts. And I think a lot of artists can relate to that, because you just get inspired by great music, right? Like, that's how I start. There's always a initial point of something that I'm inspired by, and then run from there, really.
So what are you inspired by at the moment, and what's coming up? Are you creating, are you making music at the moment, or are you just going, I've got all these tour dates, I'm a bit too busy at the moment?
Well, I'm trying my hardest to make sure I'm keeping up making music as much as possible, because it's easy not to, because there's lots of traveling and stuff happening. But as and where I can, just what's amazing nowadays is all you need really is a laptop. That's all you need, which can fit on your lap on a plane, on your lap. Like, that's all you need to make music. So I'm constantly making remixes, originals, talking to record labels, and hopefully there could be some exciting stuff happening later in the year if things work out. But sometimes with the industry it's not always certain, but there's hopefully some exciting stuff in the pipeline. So just the answer is making music when I can, in between the various commitments, just getting the laptop out and just getting some stuff down,
one step at a time. What we're going to do is we're going to hear this track which is Burning Up, which we heard in the mix, but we're going to hear the full version in just a minute. I just wanted to touch on the subject. If you are a fan of dance music, like all the classics, then head over to Chris Watson's page, because on his socials, because you do a lot of mashups of basically every style and genre of dance. There isn't, it seems like there isn't one that you favor over the other, but if there was a style, is there a style of dance that you really...
Yeah, I'd always say my heart really is in house music. That's always been the genre that I love the most, and that's mostly what I play, like in sets and that sort of thing. But you know, I'd be lying if I said I didn't love, you know, trance and some of the other, you know, EDM genres that have happened over the years, you know, because I said I love it all, really. I really love it all. House has my heart, though. I love house music, you know.
Nice. Chris, before we let you go, can I get you to pop on those headphones, which are just next to you? Because there is something that we do with all of our guests, basically. It's called your Quickfire questions.
Nice. Okay.
So, Chris, as quickly as quickly as you can, if you can answer these questions. If you can't answer in time, I get very angry and I start shouting, and no one wants that. Before we crack on, though, where can people get hold of you? Where can people find out more about you?
My username on all social platforms is Chris Watson. Search that and I'll come up.
Nice. Right, let's go. Ideal collaboration, dead or alive, whoever you want.
Avicii.
Nice. Favourite venue that you've played?
E1 London.
Yeah. A venue that you would love to play?
Amnesia, Ibiza.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. If you could steal one song, make it your own, what would it be?
Don't You Worry, Child, Swedish House Mafia.
Yeah. Oh. What one essential item do you always take when you're DJing? Can't be the decks or your USB, which everyone...
Actually DJing or travelling?
You know, when you go into a gig, or, you know, when you're about to play a gig, what is something that you can't live without?
It's got to be... you put me on the spot here. Unusual thing that I always request. I always ask for a fan. I get hot very easily when I'm DJing. A fan in the DJ booth, that's essential.
You didn't ask one for this evening, but you're probably realising with all these lights and the cameras in here, it's getting quite warm.
It's getting a little bit warm. I'll survive without the fan, it's okay.
It'll be fine. If you could live in any decade, what would it be?
90s.
Sash or chicane?
Chicane.
Deep dive on one album or a playlist shuffle?
Deep dive on one album.
Where does Paddington hide his second sandwich?
I don't know. I've actually seen the Paddington films, so I should know this. Or is it in the films? I don't know.
Well, he always has one under his hat. You know that. But where does the second sandwich live?
Oh God. Is it behind his ear?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I've got no idea. Just wondering.
I thought there was an
answer. Festival headline slot. Who's on before you?
That's a tough one. You mentioned Chicane. He's someone I grew up listening to. Love his music. 90s hero, still putting out amazing music today. If I could play a festival with Chicane, that'd be amazing. And the final one. If you could only ever have one type of potato-based food, what would it be? It would be simple salted McDonald's fries. Can't beat that. Other fries are available. Thank you very much, Chris Watson. That is your Quickfire questions, and this is your track Burning Up.